So here's a question from my iMaths. It says, Jarvis works in a garage or garage for $8 an hour. But if he works on a Saturday, he is paid time and a quarter. So what does that mean? Well, it says time and a half means for every hour you work, you get paid for 1.5 hours. So if he works on a Saturday, he's getting paid time and a quarter, which means all his hours will count 1.25 times as much. So they're worth more. And then on a Sunday, he's paid time and 3/4. So each hour he works is actually worth 1 3/4 times as much. Last weekend, Jarvis worked for 7 hours on a Sunday and 3 hours on a Saturday. How much was Jarvis paid last weekend altogether? And there's a working out box over here. Okay, so it said in the question that on Saturday he worked for 7 hours. So Saturday, 7 hours. But because it's Saturday, those hours count 1.25 times as much. Time and a quarter. So he actually gets paid for 7 times 1.25 hours. And then he gets $8 per hour at his normal rate. So on Saturday he'll earn 7 times 1.25 times $8. And then on Sunday he worked for 3 hours. His time on Sunday is worth time and 3/4. So every hour he works on Sunday, he's actually paid for 1 3/4 hours. Time and 3/4. So on Sunday he works 3 hours, but he gets paid 3 times 1 3/4 hours, and then times 8, because his normal rate is $8 per hour. So on Sunday he earns 3 times 1 3/4 times 8. Okay, so let's have a look at Saturday. So that's equal to, well, 1.25 is the same as 5/4. 1 times 4 is 4, plus the extra 1 makes 5. 8 is just 8, and 7 is just 7. And when you multiply by a fraction, you're just multiplying on the top. So on Saturday he earns 7 for the 7 hours he works, times 5/4, 5 on the top, 4 on the bottom, for the time and a quarter, times 8 for the $8 per hour. So let's work all that out. That comes to 7 times 5 times 8 divided by 4 is 70 altogether. So that comes to 70. And then on Sunday, so 3 times 1 3/4 times 8. So that's 3 on the top, times, so 1 3/4 is the same as 7/4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus the extra 3 makes 7. So 1 3/4 is the same as 7/4, and then times 8 on the top for the $8. That's his hourly rate. So 3 times 7 times 8, then all divided by 4. So that is 42. So he's earned $70 on Saturday, $42 on Sunday, and so in total that's 112. So let's have another look at the iMaths screen there. So hours paid Saturday, how many hours? Okay, well, it was 8 times, you know what, I'm not going to use that working out box because I didn't work out the number of hours paid as a separate thing, but you saw how I worked it out to be 70 plus 42, 112. So I'm just going to click mark it for that. So let's mark it. 7 out of 7, satisfying.